All right, so first thing I'll do on camera raw is to reduce the highlights because I want to have the skin detail, and then the shadows let me just leave the shadow at 0. Reduce highlights. What else? I think I'm good. It's just the highlights. Let me just expose it a little. All right, let me expose it a little. Let me use the highlights more. Then I'll go to this clarity and I will increase it a bit so that I have much more detail to work with. Okay, right, so I'm just going to hit on enter. If you are here for the first time, remember to subscribe and of course, share the video. Let's get to it. And then next thing is to crop the picture. I'll click on C, or I'll come to this crop icon here, and I'll set it to 4:5. That's Instagram size. So I need only the face of the model. That's what I want to work on. Okay, so I will kind of straighten it like this so that it makes sense. Okay, I need just the face. All right, so I think this is good. And now I will just pick transparent because there is nothing to fill there. Okay, so I'll click enter. All right, so now I have the face, just the face alone. All right, let me purge my Photoshop. So the next thing I'll do is I'll duplicate this layer with Ctrl Command J, because if you are working on background layer, if you make mistake, you have to start again, and trust me, you don't want that. All right, you really don't want that. So next thing is to remove the blemishes, and to do that, you come to this icon here. There are many tools to remove blemish. You have remove tool, spots healing brush tool, which is very good but can be time consuming. Patch tool is also nice. Content aware, all these are very good but they can be time consuming. Now the fastest one is remove tool, but it is not available in every version of Photoshop. All right, you have to be using the like 2024 Photoshop or above. So for people that don't have it, I'm just going to use spot healing tool. Okay, so the spot healing tool should pretty much be in most version of Photoshop. So I'm just going to pick it. Now what to do is just to sample on the blemish, and it's going to remove it. All right, just gently sample on it to remove it. So that is it. So all you have to do is go around the picture where there are blemishes, just sample on it, and then I think spot healing tool is pretty much fast. It loads faster, and then you remove the blemishes. Okay, so since I've removed all the blemishes, I think I'll just proceed. Okay, I think there are some here, the hair strands and all. All right, so the next thing, I'm just going to jump to frequency separation. All right, now if you guys check the link in the description, you will see a link to download this picture so that you practice along with me. All right, and then of course a link to download this frequency separation action that I'm using. All right, media, I'm using media frequency separation. You can use Gaussian blur also, but for the purpose of the tutorial, I'm going to be using media. So I'll play this frequency separation. So for most of my beauty picture, I use 5 as the radius. I think 5 kind of look natural. It gives me enough texture to work with, and of course it still blur the low frequency. All right, so I'll click 5, and I'm just going to, but to select the best radius, depending on the pictures, just zoom it in and see where you stop seeing the texture. All right, once you stop seeing the texture, you just hit enter. I think that's okay. So let's do 5. All right, so I will then open this frequency separation folder, and I'll go to my skin tone correction. All right, so on this skin tone correction, I will paint on these dark spots everywhere that is dark there. I'll just paint on it, as well as this eye bag. And to do that, I'll pick my brush. All right, opacity 100, flow 4. Let me do 4. All right, so everywhere that is dark, let me dark spots that are bigger dark spots, I will just paint on them. So I will sample, let me sample somewhere here, and then where there are dark spots, I'm just going to subtly paint on it. Okay, I think that works. Now this eye bag part, I'm just going to paint on it gently. not too much though. Okay, so now this forehead part, there's some unnecessarily dark place. I think this works. Okay, now this underneath our lips as well. All right, let us see the before and the after. Before and the after. So I've been able to like brighten, those sides of the eye. So let me reduce the opacity to, let's say, 80. Let's say the before and the after. All right, so the next thing I'll do is create another empty layer right in there inside this frequency separation. Then I will name it mixer brush. Mixer brush. I will enter. Then the next thing, I'll pick my mixer brush too. Now you can copy my settings here: wet 80, load 70, mix 90, and flow 100. But you can use 50. But if you are very fast at you are good at mixer brush, 100 is actually fine. But for the purpose of today, I'll be using 100 so that I'm going to be fast about it. Okay. So the next thing to do is this sample layer should be checked. It has to be checked. Then I'll turn off this high frequency, zoom in, and I'll gently mix the skin. All right. Okay, so I've been able to mix the skin and everywhere here. As you can see, I only brush on it to smoothen it and to create a smooth transition between highlights and shadows. All right, you don't want to brush on the eyes or the hair or something. It's just only on the skin. Okay, just to create a smooth transition between the highlights and the shadows. All right, so let us turn on the high frequency and see how it looks. Now, as you can see, this is definitely too much. All right, so I'm going to reduce the opacity. I'm going to reduce it to, let's say, 65. All right, so let us see the before and after of the frequency separation. Here's the before and here's the after. All right, now I think I like it this way, but if you feel it's too much also, you can still reduce the opacity further. All right, but I think I am good with this. All right, now the next thing I want to do is to brighten the eye, and to do that I'll come to my actions of eye whitening. You guys can check the video on my channel where I create this action, and of course I gave her this action for free to whiten eye and teeth. So I'm just going to play it. All right, then after playing it, it will create a layer mask, then paint on eye and teeth. Opacity 100, flow 100. You pick your brush, foreground color black, white, background color black, then you zoom in. Okay, and then paint on the eye. Now I want to create some things on these eyeballs. I want it to be brighter, so I'm just going to paint on inside it alone, just inside of it like this. All right, just inside of the eyeball. Okay, so after doing that, I'll reduce the opacity. Okay, so the one I painted inside the eyeball, I feel it's too much, so I'll pick my eraser and I will put the eraser to like opacity to like 5. So I will clean it a little. All right, so I think I'm good with before and after. Here's the before and the after. All right, now overall of it, the opacity, let me reduce it further. Okay, here's the before and here's the after. All right, so the next thing I want to do is I want to like pop these lips and the eye shadow, and to do that I will go to this layer mask and I'll click on hue saturation, and then I will go to reds and I will increase the saturation. I will invert it, control command high, pick my brush and of course paint on the lips, okay, and the eye shadow. All right, so after doing that, I will reduce the opacity. All right, I'll reduce the opacity. Okay, now then the next thing is to color grade the skin. All right, to color grade the skin, and then for me to do that, I'm going to create shining and darkening, like more like a dodge and burn on the skin. All right, so to do that, I will go to curve and I will open curve. All right, so this side of the curve, I'm going to drag it up to brighten it. All right, I think that's okay. Then I'll double click on the curve layer. I'll double click on it, layer mask, that layer. You have this layer style option. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to remove that curve adjustment away from the shadow. I only want it to reflect on the highlight, and to do that, I'll come to this underline layer. Just make sure you are on just blend the option, don't come to any other option here. Just go to underline layer and I'll drag it in. All right, now I'll drag it in until I see it is off the shadow. I think it's not much showing my shadow. Then the next thing, I will hold the Alt or Option key to disconnect these two and I will drag it out. I think that's not good. Let me just drag it in like this. All right, so I think this is good. I will hit on okay. Let's see the before and the after. Now what that does is it creates it makes the picture to be very, very sharp. All right, it creates that highlight on it to make it glow. Okay, so after doing that, I will turn this off and I'll go to the another curve. I'll create another curve adjustment. So I want to do for the shadow, so I'm going to drag it also to be dark. All right, that works. So I'm going to double click on the layer also. I want to remove it from the highlight. I only want it to show on the shadow, so I'll drag it in a little until I see it leaving the highlight part. I've seen it leaving, so I'll hold my Alt or Option key also and I'll feather it. By that way, it's not showing on the highlight, only the shadow part. All right, so I'll hit OK. I'll see the before and the after. So now if I turn the two on, what you can see is this. All right. So I will group the two I'll select the two layer and press Ctrl Command G. Then I'll reduce the opacity. All right, I'll reduce the opacity more. Here's the before and here's the after. As you can see, this is the best way to make skin to really glow. All right, here's the before and here's the after. Let's reduce the opacity further. Here's the before and here's the after. Here's the before and the after. All right, so the next thing I want to do is to color grade the skin. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to come to gradient map. I'll go to gradient map, click on it. Oh, this is looking weird. So I'm going to open this gradient map. Now there are many options in gradient map. You have lots and lot of options, but let me go for orange. I'll go to this lights. Let's click OK first. Then I will reduce the opacity to 50. Then the blending mode, I'll change it to soft light. All right, now I'm not sure I'm liking this color, so I can come here again. I go to orange and I can pick another one until I find the one I like. I think this one is okay. I click on OK. All right, so what I'll do is I'll reduce the opacity more and more. Let's do 20. All right, so I don't want it to reflect on all the picture. I just want it to reflect on only the skin. So I will subtract it from the eyes and the hair. To do that, I'll click on eraser, opacity 100, flow 100. I'm just going to clean it off the eyes. All right, I'll clean it off the eyes. You can check what you are doing to be sure you are not cleaning it from where you are not supposed to. All right, I'll clean it off the eyes and the lips and then the hair also. Let me remove it from the hair. All right, so I'll remove from the hair as well. Okay, so let us see, here is the before and here is the after. All right, so let us see the overall before and the after. Before and the after. Now the transformation is huge. Now let me turn this off. Let us see how we have been doing it all along. This is the frequency separation. All right, frequency separation. This is the eye and teeth whitening. This is the lip. This is the shining of the teeth and the shining of the skin, the highlight and the shadow. But I feel it's too much, so let me reduce the opacity more. Let's do 30. All right, this is the before and the after. Then this is the color gradient. Now the next thing I want to do is to add a little bit vibrance. All right, add a little vibrance so that it is much more colorful. Now let's see the overall before and the after. Before and the after. Now I think it's looking a bit reddish. So, oh, this vibrance is supposed to be at the top. I think it's looking a bit reddish. So I'll go to my levels. All right, I'll go to levels and I'll come to this RGB drop down. I'll click red and I'm going to like drag it left. By that way, the red color are removed. If I drag it left, it removes the red colors, so that it still look kind of natural before and after. Before and after. Okay, so that's it, guys. That is how we edit beauty picture, and you still retain the skin, the natural skin. It still look more like you didn't really do much on it. All right, so thank you for joining me on this. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, because there are much more valuable videos coming on this channel. Thank you, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye.